Alright, what's up guys? It's currently peak week. It's Thursday. I compete on Saturday. So I'm just going to be explaining the peak week process and then all my thoughts right now going into the show. So to start off, peak week is just the final week leading up to a show. This is when you manipulate your water and your carbs and your sodium to give you a tight, crazy look. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was drinking 2 gallons of water a day and I was keeping my sodium really low and keeping my carbs pretty low, like 100 grams of carbs a day. So keeping the sodium low is to help flush water out of my system. Sodium makes you hold on to water, makes you look bloated. Drinking a bunch of water is to flush anything out and to train my body to get rid of water. And then keeping my carbs really low is because the more carbs you have, the more your muscles are filled out. So what you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you completely deplete yourself of carbs, because once you're carb depleted, the next time you have carbs, you can actually hold on to way more. So this is a very hard thing to time properly, because if you carb deplete yourself and then you go and you eat a bunch of carbs, you can actually overspill, is what it's called. Basically just look fat because you had too many carbs. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I depleted of carbs. Today, I'm slowly bringing my carbs back up. Tomorrow, I'll have a little bit more carbs than I had today. And then on show day, probably the same thing. Sodium for the whole week pretty much is gonna stay low until show day, because sodium is a vasodilator, so it opens up your veins, gives you some extra blood flow, makes you look more vascular. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole process with manipulating carbs, water, and sodium. So today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, I'm not drinking any water. I'm drinking like a quart of water a day just to stay alive. And I'm also taking dandelion and a natural diuretic. They're both helping me to just keep peeing, essentially, so that I can flush any water out so that I look really dry when it comes to show day. So yeah, that's how I'm manipulating sodium, carbs, water, all that good stuff. Next, tomorrow, which is Friday, I have to get tanned, spray tanned. So in like an hour or so, I have a little helper coming over to help me shave my entire body, because I have to get my, I can't shave my back alone, but yeah, so I have to shave my entire body, like my armpits. I can only leave my eyebrows and my hair that's on my head. That's it. Everything else must go. And also, I can't use deodorant. Apparently it'll make your armpits turn green once they do the spray tan. And I can't wash my body with soap. I have to just wash with water. So to any of my friends and family that are coming to the show, I really appreciate you just sticking through how bad I'm gonna smell. But yeah, so that's pretty much the entire peak week process. Tomorrow I'm just driving up to Greensboro, getting my spray tan, go to sleep, wake up, compete, chill, and then go on stage for the award ceremony. Okay, so 2 days out from competing in the show, and I've got a lot of thoughts going through my head. And I figured not only would it be interesting for you guys to hear what I'm thinking going into this show, but it's also going to help me just get my thoughts in order and focus on the task at hand. My first line of thinking has to do with the fact that I'm competing as a natural athlete, meaning I don't take any steroids, any performance enhancing drugs, and the show that I'm competing in is an untested show, so you're allowed to use steroids. So it very well could be when I step on stage that I'm the only natural guy up there and the rest of them are using PEDs. So here are the thoughts that I want to talk about being natural versus using steroids. The first thing, coping. A lot of people like to go in things with a disadvantage so that when they lose, they have an excuse and they can cope with it and they're fine. So for instance, in my case, it's like me going and competing in the show, and then if I lose, people saying, "Oh no, you did great, all those other guys are on steroids, you know." No, I'm not gonna cope. If I lose, it's not because of the steroids, it's because my posing wasn't good enough, it's because my diet wasn't good enough, it's because my training wasn't good enough. It doesn't help me to say, oh, it's just because I'm not on steroids, because I'm never gonna do steroids. It has to be my fault. I'm not gonna cope and just use steroids as some type of an excuse to let myself off the hook for not being as good as I could have been. That would be a missed opportunity to improve. Number 2, competing with the best. So a lot of people will look at me and go, dude, you have a great natural physique. There are plenty of federations that you can go compete in where the athletes are all tested. So there's no steroid use allowed. But I want to compete against the best. I don't care if you're using steroids. I will compete against people that are unnatural. I'm not intimidated to compete against people that are using steroids. If anything, it does the opposite. It fuels me, because then I see someone that looks better than me enhanced, and I go, I want to look like that, not enhanced. How cool would that be? So I have the opposite mindset of, why don't I just go compete in a natural federation? No, I want to compete against people that look great, because I want to win amongst a great looking group of guys, and I want to be the greatest looking. I'm competitive. I want to look great. I don't want to go out there and win against a bunch of guys that look terrible. I want competition. I want a win to matter. So those are my thoughts on competing in tested competitions. And last but not least is the L mindset. The L mindset that I'm referring to is people that say, oh, you can't expect to compete and beat these guys that are using PEDs. It's not fair. You can't expect to compete with these guys. No way. I don't believe that. You know why I don't believe you? Because it's not to my advantage to believe that. What do I gain from sitting here and going, oh, I'll never be able to compete with these guys that are using steroids? No, why would I even waste time thinking something like that? Oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that. Can't, never, could do anything. You get to choose what you want to believe. Why would you choose to believe something that hurts you? And then there's also another aspect to this, which is, oh, you trust in steroids? I trust in God. How does that sound? So, I will never be using steroids. I'm not worried about competing against guys that are using steroids. In fact, I'm excited to. Okay, so next we're going to talk about winning and losing. So, here's my mindset going into things. If I win, look, I'm already a very confident guy. I've got plenty of pride, plenty of ego. I don't need to boost that. Like, if I was a 2K player, that would be maxed out. Pride and ego would be maxed out. Confidence maxed out. So I don't need to attach my pride and ego to a win. And I know that might sound weird, and you're probably thinking, oh, but why wouldn't you want to be proud of all the hard work you did, all that grinding all the way to get to this point? Why wouldn't you be proud of yourself and happy with yourself? And the reason is, I'm not able to quantify in my brain how much of that was really me. And I know that that probably sounds weird as well. But when you think about bodybuilding, it pretty much takes three things. You need good genetics, you need good health, so you don't need to be getting injured, and you need discipline, a good work ethic, all that. So when I say I don't know how much of that was me, so I don't want to take any pride in it, what I mean is, I was blessed with good genetics. I didn't play any part in choosing my genetics. That was all God given to me from my parents. So I can't take pride in my genetics. I can just be thankful for them. Number two, health. It's a miracle that I haven't been injured up to this point, and any injury up until this point has all been minor. So that's been out of my control. And number three, the discipline, the work ethic, that's God-given too. I was blessed with that. Like, is a work ethic something you earn? Do some people not inherently have a better work ethic than others? I didn't work hard to get a better work ethic. And I know that that might sound weird as well, because you're probably thinking, even if you have a good work ethic, you're still the one that went and did the hard work. You suffered through all that. But what I say to that is, what else am I supposed to do? I was born with the inclination to like to do hard things. Should I take pride in that? Or should I be thankful? So I'm going to try, if I win, to just thank God for this blessing and opportunity and everything leading up to this point, because for the most part, out of my control. I don't need to take pride in it. I've got plenty of confidence already. I'll be fine without this confidence boost. All I did was do what I was naturally inclined to do. So that's what I'm really going to try and focus on if I win. Now, on the other hand, at the bottom you see, what if I lose? What's my mindset going to be if I lose? Now, this goes pretty much hand in hand exactly with what I just said. If I win, things are going to be that way. If I lose, which is the opposite of winning, my mindset is going to be the opposite of if I would have won. So if I lose, my mindset is going to be, that was all on me. I'm going to adopt maximum responsibility for the loss, because it does not benefit me in any way to say, if I lose, that things were out of my control, because then I won't improve. But if I lose, and then I say, okay, that was all my fault. I didn't diet properly, I didn't peak properly, I didn't sleep properly, I didn't work out properly. What can I do better so that next time I can win? That's where I can grow. It's not to my advantage to lose and then go, oh well, it was all out of my control, it was in the judge's hands, and things just didn't work out, and those guys were on steroids anyway. No, that is a terrible mindset. If I lose, I'm gonna try and focus on having a mindset that is everything that went wrong was completely my fault. What can I do better next time? So that's pretty much my whole mindset going into this, thinking about winning versus losing. All right, next I want to talk about my thoughts about the off season. So after the show, should I bulk or should I stay lean? And I'm pretty much in a dilemma right now. People want to see someone with a great physique work out. It also helps my credentials to have a great physique. So when I make like a personal training video, if I'm mid bulk and like I look fat, people are gonna watch the video and be like, why would I listen to this guy? So that's what I think about staying lean, is that it helps in all those ways, but also it would be a little bit of a waste of time because I know that I'm gonna wanna compete again in the future, so I really need to focus on putting on more size for the next time that I wanna compete. But yeah, I'm pretty much undecided as to whether throughout this winter I'm gonna bulk or if I'm gonna try and stay lean so that my videos look better. But I'm sure in the next couple videos I'll have it figured out and I'll let you guys know what my plan going forward is. Okay, so last but not least, we're gonna be talking about what I'm doing post-show, like immediately after the show. So if I win, I'll go out to eat and I'll have one crazy meal. If I lose, I'll just go directly into what is called the reverse diet. And if I win, the reverse diet will just start on Sunday. So I might have one good meal after the show, or I might just go right into the reverse diet. Reverse dieting, pretty self-explanatory. I take where like my calories and nutrients are at now, and then I just slowly bring them up and up and up. And then once I get my calories to a maintenance point, then I can decide, do I want to stay where I'm at or do I want to bulk? You do a reverse diet just because when you get so lean, if I were to immediately just start eating like 4,000 calories a day, I could have a heart attack. Like, your body will hold on to all that water, all that salt. It's just not good. So that's why you have to reverse diet. You gotta be pretty careful for the entire next week after the show, because if you don't reverse diet properly, this happens all the time, you will just get fat, or you can legitimately be hospitalized because your body's in such a deprived state. So I'm gonna be going into the reverse diet after the show to get my body just back to a good, healthier diet than the peak week diet, which is so crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm glad that I could clear my head. I do want you guys to comment if you have any questions about this whole peak week process, because I find it really interesting and I love talking about this stuff. So if you have any questions that I didn't answer, comment and I'll reply to you. Or my Instagram shows at the end of every video. You can DM me on Instagram. We can talk about it. But yeah, excited to finish peak week and see how crazy I look. Excited to compete. So blessed and so thankful for this opportunity. And yeah, I just want to make the most of it. Hopefully we'll come out with a win. And thank you guys for watching.